Hey, Facebook fam, good morning. It's been a second since I've gone live here on my public page. Figured it was time. Just so you know, I do have a group, Heal Your Inner Child and Self Mastery Through the Chakras, that I do go live in weekly. If you want access, I'll put the links in the comments. I wanted to come on today because I have a message and I felt like this message was for the masses rather than just my private groups. Something I've been feeling into a lot lately, and I wanted to share it with you. As a businesswoman, I've spent a lot of my life rushing. I always had a deep urgency and desire to become and be, sorry about all the chickens, it's so loud in my backyard. But I've always had this deep desire to become all of the things I always wanted to be. It's what propelled me through a lot of my life. It's how I got my I've noticed the miracles that happen around me, for me, through me, when I'm able to trust and sink into that present moment. As I'm coaching my Wealthy Bitch Energy group and my Inner Child group, there's so much urgency to become and do and heal. And if we can take a pause and come back to the present moment, we realize and see, right? If we're present, that we're always in the right place at the right time. The universe is so beautifully wise. And when we're clear and intentional about what we want, there's not much we have to actually do to try to control or create it. It's in the simple moments of trust. Of course, there's intentionality. Of course, there's action taking, right? But it's not a deep thirst. It's not a sense of urgency to control and make it happen your way. It's more of a breathing into, this is what I desire, and I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to trust that what I'm doing is enough. I'm going to trust that each breath, each moment, each step forward is enough. And when you look around, you realize the divine timing of it all. I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, I had a plan. Wednesday nights are kind of my nights for me. And the day didn't go the way that I thought it would. But what ended up happening was the space was created for me to be able to be really present with one of my children as they were hurting. And I was present with them and listening to them. I was led to these different places around my town, and in each place that I was led, I met someone who actually helped me with something that I needed. Right? For example, we've been putting our chickens up for adoption. And my son wanted to stop at a store that I usually don't stop at. We went into this store and we were talking about our chickens, and just out of nowhere, the man was like, "Hey, if you're ready for them to be adopted tomorrow, I can have this lady, Julie, who's called the Chicken Whisperer, come and pick them up. She's got a chicken farm and she takes chickens that people aren't ready for." And I was like, amazing, here's my address. And it was so easy. And it was something that, was on my to-do list, but that I hadn't made space or time for. And because I was clear about it and intentional about it and present in the moment, it was created. And things like this continually happen when we can let go of control and trust that life is happening for us. The same thing happens with clients, with business deals, with relationships. As we can breathe into the safety of the moment and not try to control or call people to us or pull people or convince people, but if we can simply know that the right clients, the right opportunities, the right relationships are coming to us, and all we have to do is focus on ourselves and our clear energy, pouring energy back into what we want and what we want to create, things start to move. In fact, one of you watching here, I won't say your name, but one of my clients who's watching right now, Last week, she was so stressed about a move. And I said, hun, drop into gratitude in this moment. You're not in the job you want currently, but if you can drop into gratitude in this moment for what you have, if you can have full faith that you're going to get the job in the city you want, and you can trust that and not try to control it or talk about why it's not happening, it will happen. And the next day, I shit you not, she sent me a Marco Polo and she said, I got the job in my dream city. And I'm so happy. And it's in those moments, right, when we can release control, the control that we think we have, and simply focus on our own energy and how we're showing up and sinking into the gratitude for what we already have, that things start to happen and are created. It's how I got this beautiful home that literally has everything that I need, the amount of acreage, the amount of space inside, the kind of environment I wanted for my kids. It's because I trusted and surrendered to the process. I knew what I wanted and I didn't try to control it. And here's the key: when it became available to me, I welcomed it with open arms, without the fear or nerves or doubts. I just said okay, right? And the more and more that we can do this, that we can sink into that state of surrender and acceptance, and know that even if life doesn't look exactly how we want it to right now, even if our outcomes aren't in the exact timing that we want, that they are happening for us. That when we can realize, just coming into this moment right here and taking a big deep breath. Everybody just do this with me. Let's put our feet flat on the floor, bend your knees a little, straighten your back, make sure your spine and your head are aligned, and just take a big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And look, in this moment right here, I am safe. I am held. And miracles are happening for me. It doesn't mean that hard things, scary things aren't going to happen. But what it means is, when those obstacles come, if we can continue to have faith, despite the fears, despite the pain, despite the weary circumstances, that the universe will continue to support us. It's about that intentionality and deep faith that it is happening for you and that it will continue to happen for you. But I see so many people rushing and rushing and rushing to meet a certain outcome. And when they get there, it breaks my heart because they've missed out on life before then. And what ends up happening is they get to this outcome, and because they're so tired or burnt out, they can't even celebrate it or appreciate it. And we're here right now to experience life in each moment. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my children, like I said, through some grief that they were experiencing. They had kind of a heartbreak, and they were really, really hurting and struggling with the decision they had to make. And they wanted to just kind of push forward and do what it would take to be able to make it easy and better in that moment. They wanted to shut down, and one of their words were, I'm never dating again. And I said, that's okay. But what if we sat with this for a minute, right? What if we sat with these feelings for a minute? What if we sat with this present experience for a minute and we tuned into the experience of it? And I said to this child, when we hurt hard after a relationship, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Sometimes when we hurt and grieve most after what we consider an obstacle or a pain or a heartbreak, is actually just proof of how big we loved, proof of how much we showed up, proof of how much we wanted it. And those are all very natural human desires. But when we let those heartbreaks, those hard moments, those doubts stop us in our track and say, no, I'm going to say no to life in this moment, That's when the fear and the pain takes control over us, and that's where we block the universe from working with us. It's when we can sit with those deep fears and those pains and be with them and realize that our ability to feel a variety of emotions, whether they're good or bad or big or small, makes us human. And it's proof that we're alive, that we're living life. When we have this opportunity that we want so bad and it's not happening and we're filled with all these things, instead come back and say, wow, I really do desire this. And as I sit with this and trust that it's happening, instead of putting my energy into the anxieties and the fears and the grief and the doubt, I'm going to come back to me and my source and my faith that I'm safe, that I'm held, and that miracles are happening for me. It's not about bypassing the deeper feelings. It's about acknowledging them and seeing them as the beautiful gifts that they are, right? Our emotions, our feelings, our inner guidance system are powerful tools. It's just that as humans, we're hardwired to want that instant gratification, that instant dopamine fix. And it's prevented a lot of us from being able to sit with the heavy and alchemize it into something good. That's what I teach my clients all the time in self-mastery, is being able to master the feelings, the sensations in your body and respond to life in a way that's beneficial for you, investing your energy, your time, your emotions into pieces of your life that are a, a good investment for you, right? That are going to propel you forward. So the whole premise of this message, I guess, I'll wrap it up, is trusting in this moment that you're being held, trusting that you'll get through what you're going through when you can honor the present moment, the present feelings in your body, trusting that you can do this, that you can make these hard decisions, that you can choose right for you, and that the universe will be right there with you, creating miracles as you continue to move forward and invest in what you really want to create, rather than investing in the doubts and the fears and letting the grief and pain control you and pull you away from your purpose. Instead, be with it, honor it, acknowledge it, and allow it to move forward. Hey, Stephanie, thank you for sharing. Yeah, when we feel stuck, honestly, hun, the biggest thing that we can do is just sitting and being with everything that is for a moment. And as you tune in and breathe into that spaciousness within, filling and filling and filling from the earth and yourself, and getting really clear and only doing what is right for you, right? Instead of getting pulled into all the external of the shoulds and the what you want, just saying what I'm doing and how I'm showing up right now is enough. I'm enough right now. I'm worthy right now. I'm safe right now. And when we can drop into that and breathe through that, we feel the energy shift. It doesn't mean the sensations get any more comfortable, right? Those harder sensations, the nervous system response is still there. But as we breathe through it, acknowledge it, and honor it, we can choose consciously to create something different. Always. I'm so happy to be here. I knew that somebody needed to hear this message. I needed to hear this message. I think it's a constant reminder to sit with and move forward in faith. So thank you guys. It's been a minute. I'm sure I'll be back soon. But like I said, if you want more live teachings, I'm always going live in my self mastery through the chakras group and my inner child healing group. I hope to see you there and more back here on Facebook. Bye, everyone.